Slow down. Chew your food, man.
Yeah, seriously. Tika, it sounded like he was maybe joining. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Hello and welcome to Draft Offsides. I'm with Enzo. My name is Keith. Tico is traveling this week, so it's just going to be me and Enz today. Thank God, right? A little bit of.
I'm down his commitment to the pod. I'm down it.
I think he just has a slightly more commitment to his fiance than us, which is fair, I guess.
Valid, fair, yeah, fair. Can't say nothing. And he's new. He's fresh. He's fresh.
Fresh fiance. We are recording this during the Chelsea game, so apologies if we miss anything there. A and B, apologies if I just have a spouse out at any second. So those are, those are just the two.
I was like, you should have the game on right now.
I have it. It's just halftime, so yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. But okay, let's get into it. We just have some really brief notes, and we're just going to get into waivers, and then we're going to do a should you be panicking, yes or no, kind of pick, okay? And then we'll just call that the episode. Try to keep it tight. So a few things, a couple notes. And Ciso and Osula were both players that are kind of on the fringes, right? And they both got assists, but then came off injured, which is kind of we'll see I say keep an eye on it for both of them, but really exciting if you're managers to have them or if you have the potential to want them, right?
And Ciso looked good. Like he was creating that whole game.
Yeah. Before it came off. I mean, that was like a highlight reel, that goal too. Just the way he kind of did that little shoulder shimmy on the defender. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Can you do it all season is the question. So
and then the injury thing, right? I mean, his career's been kind of plagued with those injuries. So for him to come off with a knock even in the first game is just alarming. But so he's worth a flyer. If he's on benches, he'd probably be one of the top waiver guys for me this week based on that.
I think so.
Rashford off the bench scores 10 in 45 minutes. I also just feel like there was a sign. I don't think Dorgu seemed like he was the answer there.
No, don't get me wrong. It seemed like one of our fantasy managers was a genius because he drafted Dorgu. I think third or fourth pick or something.
Fourth round, yeah.
So he seemed like a genius, but then you watch the game and you're like, yeah, no, he's not a winger. He is a defender.
Not. He's like a wingback. It's just unfortunate he's a wingback in a team that doesn't need a wingback anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Shirky comes off the bench to get 2 assists. I think Shirky managers rejoice. Foden managers tremble in fear.
Shirky managers rejoice. And if you were busy and didn't check your lineup and kept him in the lineup, even though he was on the bench, like this guy, you were fucking happy. You're
very rewarded. You called this out. Trey Hume was playing right wing as opposed to right back. It's something they were doing in preseason, but I don't think anyone was sure if that was just a preseason thing, but to see it in the first game of the season is very interesting. And the fact that they won means that, usually when you win, you don't change as much, Yeah.
Or
no, did they win? Sunderland, no, they lost. They did lose.
No, sorry. They drew. They drew?
No, they lost to Ipswich, right? 2-1.
Oh, yeah, they did lose to Ipswich.
Yeah, they did lose to Ipswich.
And he still got 9.5 points.
Yeah, so, I mean, it might be an interesting trade target potentially, or someone to look at. Because if someone's not paying that much attention, that 9.5 isn't this amazing score, but it's also something where it's hey, this guy, if he's playing attack, he's going to be worth a lot of points this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Don't sleep on him. If you can get him, get him now.
I think he's definitely piqued interest. Brentford Sangari burst onto the scene with 2 assists, 2 fantasy assists in his debut. Definitely a specimen.
He looks so good.
He's so interesting though, because he's such a physical player that when I kind of saw his profile and saw him, I kind of didn't think he'd be a really big fantasy asset. I thought he'd be more of a holding midfielder that got up and down, the occasional goal, but not maybe enough to turn the needle. But after that first game, it's maybe he kind of bucks the trend for that position where he can actually be someone that generates points.
He looked bloody good.
But we'll see too. It's one game. It's a small sample size, but it is interesting. I mean,
and he's playing against Tottenham. So
what is that? Was that lads at Tottenham or
he's playing against a crap like Tottenham that doesn't have a fucking soul yet. They're not a team.
Yeah.
So, but don't take anything away from him when he was bossing. He looked like 100 million. Because
that's funny, right? It's so classic Brentford to get him.
Mm-hmm. I think 42 million.
Yeah, not that much. The last thing to kind of talk about is the Savio and Marmoush moves. Let's go. Sorry, Cole Palmer almost scored. The Savio and Marmoush deals are at the final stages. It sounds like they're both coming along. It sounds like they're both going to happen. I'm assuming at this point that those players have been picked up in your leagues, but if not, swoop them up for sure. I think Marmoush might be the one that's maybe sold in waivers. I think Savio's drafted in most leagues.
Yeah, Savio's drafted. Well, Marmoush is, if you're in some leagues where they might have skipped him, yeah. But in both our leagues, yeah, fuck you, Keith.
I didn't. What are you talking about? It wasn't me.
You picked up Marmoush.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I did not.
In the main league. So I've been cussing you out for like 2 days for no reason.
Yeah. I was very confused.
Was it Sean?
I thought you were making a joke about my cousin, but he's not in our main league. So now I'm even more confused. But okay, neither here nor there. Enzo, I have a question for you as a Tottenham fan. With Savio Marmoush coming, like, where does this all kind of like play into things? Like as far as like who are going to be this? What's like the starting four if everyone's healthy?
Can I be honest with you? I don't think anyone's position is safe.
Yeah,
no position is safe. Like,
yeah, I mean,
Zerbi's already said that he's waiting to find the players that want to play for the team and be a unit. And he said straight up, like, this, we're not where we should be.
Palmer with a goal. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Palmer scored. He's back, baby.
He's back, baby. Yeah, I guess I'm looking at last week, like maybe Mateus Tal is the only one from those four that I think might start in the coming weeks, you know. But then Savio Marmoush
on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, Kudus is injured. That's it.
Kudus, yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, because Richarlison looked horrible. Mikey Moore didn't look bad on the right. He actually had more chances than anybody else. But you bring in Savio, you're probably going to play Savio.
I think Mikey Moore goes all alone is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, eventually. So, yeah.
Okay, the last thing we got to talk about is our boy Hinsel Hood, not Hinselwood, true gangster.
No, true gangster.
True
I
gangster.
think someone called it out and tried to give it to one of our fellow.
Yeah, I tried to do a little charity. Tico, we were on the clock in our draft episode, our live draft, and Tico was trying to figure out who to draft like very late, like last round or second last round. I said, I know you should draft, and I suggested Hinselwood, and he scoffed at me and went another direction. So joke's on him, I guess. But he's definitely someone to keep an eye on. I think the thing with him that's interesting is that he didn't ghost well last year, but he was getting a lot of goal returns. And so his numbers felt a little inflated. But like maybe if he's just going to be in that position, like why not? You know,
I would take him if I needed him.
Yeah, I think that's another good one,
especially in the deep leagues.
Yes, fully. I think he's definitely one to talk about for waivers. So we can kind of transfer into waivers now. I think that he's definitely up there, though. I think in this team, there's just not another player that plays in that 10 right now. And he was starting to get starts at the end of the season last year too. So I think Hinselwood is very, very interesting, but it's just not. Yeah,
it's not consistent. But
yeah, it just depends on the type of fantasy owner you are. You know, some people really just want to get those like clean ghost points and really based on that. And some people are okay just kind of rolling the dice. Okay, so now rest of waivers. Is there? We have a few here. Is there anyone that you want to like talk about first, or should we just go down the list?
Let's go down the list, man.
We have a bunch this week. I think eventually we might start doing like one each or something. But I think this week with Tico gone and everything, we just want to, and especially the first week, it's just such an important time. So we just want to name a bunch of guys. The first one I have here is Abdul Fatawu from Ipswich. He actually wasn't. He was like kind of like he was like a hipster darling preseason, you know, like he had really good dribble numbers and really good kind of stats in previous seasons, and he's, you know, like the dribbly boys get points. But he didn't play in like the last two Ipswich preseason games. I think there were some concerns there that something was going on. There was an injury, so he ended up falling out of a lot of drafts. I think he's only 38% owned. He's a forward, but yeah, he got the start this week. I think he had close to 10 points, and it was all ghost too.
Was it all ghost?
I'm pretty sure it was all ghost. But I can double check that. But I think it's just he's the type of guy that does generate a lot of points via dribble. So it's just he's someone as a forward, especially where that position's so boom bust. It's nice having like one guy that's like a big boom guy, and then one guy that can kind of give you that, you know, that kind of like little point generation.
And he's available.
He's available in a lot of leagues, Jeff, definitely. Who do you have, Enzo? Who do you like?
I got Christopher Ayer from Brentford, 4% owned. Defender, 18.5 points. Take away the clean sheet points, that's 12.5 points. 2 interceptions, 6 aerials, 6 clearances. We've seen this from him before. Don't sleep on defenders like we've done the last couple of seasons. Like if you rely on some defenders and who can get you some good ghost points, they can win you a league, win you a week. So I'd rely on, I personally, and I've always said this since last year, rely on defenders more than my attacking assets because they're a good base.
I feel like it's less exciting, but it's almost feeling like it's becoming the meta where it's like you get a really strong foundation and you almost like you get your defenders a foundation and your other players, it's kind of like you just allow them to be able to pop off, and that allows you to get like the higher war guys, like the higher boom bust guys, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. Sergey had a suggestion as well. He had James McAtee on here, 6% owned. He had 11 ghost points and a 1-0 loss. Looked like he was taking a lot of the set plays. So it seemed like, I think there was a lot of discussion preseason that sorry, Fulham just scored and ends up bad news.
Who?
Garcia.
Gonzalo
Garcia. But
I'm done.
I mean, but good for us. Good for us is on the pod because I was telling Tico that if Gonzalo gets off to a hot start, that we can start fanboying him the way we did Raul Jimenez. So it's a good start for that. Okay, but anyways, yeah, I think so there was a lot of talk with Morgan Gibbs White where with Elliot Anderson going, they thought that he might take more sets because Elliot Anderson was, but it looked like McAtee was taking some of the corners too. So just worth noting that's interesting if McAtee kind of takes that Elliot Anderson role, because then that could be a really good position. I guess the concern would be, is that role going to be there with everyone healthy and with everyone coming back? Is McAtee actually the guy, or is it just like a temporary thing, beginning of the season, type role? But it's worth exploring. I'm not sure. Like, I think it's like a really low fab ad if you kind of have an extra midfield spot and you're looking for it. But I think like Fatawu, what would you be thinking for Fatawu for fab?
Like, depends on what forward you have. If you don't have a forward, like you're gonna put a good amount of fab in, because like I don't see anything coming out in the transfer market right now. I don't hear too much coming forward wise from other leagues. So right now, you got to look at what's already here. I'd do like 15 fab if you really need him.
I mean, he could be. I don't hate that. Yeah, I think Okay, another name on here: Anand Kahali, defender, 6%. Sergey bookmark worth playing. Sergey suggestion bookmark worthy player worth keeping an eye on. Came on for 35 minutes in the Everton loss. Scored 10.75 ghost points. Plays wing back with a defender tag. That's one of those ones that might be like a plug and play type guy.
It's like a stream.
Yeah.
Stream.
Tico did not make the pod, obviously, but he has a goalkeeper as his waiver suggestion.
Hell.
It's kind of funny. I kind of support it, just in the sense that we were giving a lot of shit last week for his picks in the first game week. But so this guy, he kept a clean sheet against Manchester United. So he was a Hull keeper. He was a club record transfer for Hull. He was a starting keeper for Olympiacos when they won the Conference League. He has won the last 2 Player of the Years at Olympiacos. Yeah, and he makes a good point. He feels like every year a promoted keeper gets really busy, who's really busy, like ends up being a top 3 keeper. And it's matchup proof because you almost like want them to get a lot of action, and it's like you're banking less on the clean sheets as you are on just the action.
And it's a set and forget.
Yeah. So I don't hate. I actually kind of feel like this might be a good pickup. It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Like, you can get a goalkeeper that you don't have to worry about. That's that's what I'm hoping that Trafford's going to be this season for me.
Yeah, I have Trafford in league too. I like Trafford for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another one here. We got a shout out Tiana Berry getting the start for Everton and then also getting a goal. Yeah. I think there's always been that talk about him. Like, can he do it? Can he put it together? I think there's things that everyone really likes that he does.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of getting the goals involved, Yeah,
I think Sergey was a fan. I think Sergey had mentioned him or who's the other guy? Beto. If whoever gets the start, they pick them up because they're the ones that have the opportunity to get the starting position and score some goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that totally makes sense. And I think they're just like the striker for Everton is going to have some role. I mean, that's a pretty exciting team built around him too, with Ndai, with KDH. If they all stay, it's just it seems like that team is in a really good place, has a really strong foundation, and can just only it could grow from last year. So if the striker position gets locked down, it isn't a split the way it was, then I think that could be a really good pickup. We talked about Enciso at the top of the show, 36% owned. I think it's just keeping an eye on the leg injury.
Fitness.
Yeah. But you might need to, if you really want to get Enciso, you might need to gamble on getting him off waivers before
he comes back.
Before we know the extent of his leg injury. And I think that probably reduces the amount that I'd spend on him for fab. Does that make sense? Because you just don't know. You don't want to run up 15 fab, 10 fab on the guy that out 3 weeks, you know what I mean? So I think that reduces the amount that I think makes sense to spend. But and then the last one on here, Tyreek George, 14% for 3 successful dribbles and 2 key passes. Great ghosting baseline. This was someone that Sergey had on his potential guys that could make it into the top 50 that were undrafted. I think this is a really good shout, especially if he nails down that position. I mean, we're talking about Barry, but I think this whole attacking Everton lineup is actually much more exciting than it's been in a long time.
And they create points. They generate a lot of points. And Dai, Tyreek George, and if Mr. what's his name, Thiago Barry can get on the score sheet, we'll see. And then maybe Brent Johnson gets a little bit of playtime. So we'll see.
Is there anyone else worth talking about? I know it's from a waiver standpoint. There's obviously so many, but we just wanted to kind of highlight some of the ones that we were really looking at.
There's a lot out there, but remember, it's really hard. And first week. I'd go by matchups depending on who they're playing the week after. That's how I'd look at it for this week. That's what I have done. Or the ones that have really stood out, like in the match. So if you watch, like, for example, Sangare, like that guy was just boss in the middle. He was getting tackles, key passes. He got the 2 assists, but he was doing a lot. So he was generating a lot of points.
And just for the record too, the way that we do waivers, it's people that are 50% owned or under. So that's why there's obviously there's a lot of names that had really good weeks. But yeah, anyone else? I think we're kind of good then here and there, huh? I think it's kind of there's a couple other things, just like random news things I want to get your opinion on. What's the Ismail Assar situation in your mind?
Yeah, he might be going. Ollie Watkins didn't start and he refused to play supposedly. But Sarr might be going to. Is he going to Saudi too? Did I see that?
It was Turkey potentially.
Turkey. Okay.
I guess the question is this: is if Watkins goes and there's these rumors that Jackson is who might come, he probably becomes a pretty high waiver claim, given that it's Tammy Abraham and then
in a lot of leagues
and not in a lot of leagues, given that it's Tammy Abraham and a 17-year-old that are there are the other 2 strikers.
I'd go for Tammy first.
I mean, the thing about Nico Jackson is, as you know, the jokes, the jokes about himself with him and his poor finishing, but he always did really well as a fantasy asset. And he creates a lot. He does dribbles, he's definitely he does that stuff. So just worth thinking about that. I also think it's worth kind of thinking about the, just the whole defenders, keeping an eye on them. I don't necessarily have one that I'm like, this is the guy, but I think that, seeing what they do in the coming weeks as well. And then I guess the other one that's interesting is Emerson from Ipswich, the guy who got the striker who got a goal.
The goal?
He finished with 22.5 points or 22.25 points. So I think there's so many guys. I think that he's probably, just because it's Ipswich, I'm a little nervous. I kind of if Enciso's healthy, I'd rather Enciso than Emerson. Just from that fact that I think that 10 probably generates more points than the 9. But yeah. All right. Should we get into the next section?
First game of the season. Just be careful.
First game of the season.
Yeah.
I know. So underreactions, overreactions, Enzo. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to just say a name and you tell me, and these are all people, just assume that they had poor scores because every single one of these people had a poor score. Tell me that if you're going to be panicking or you're relaxed about them, okay? Enzo Laffy.
Relaxed. You
think it's fine? 1 point, not a big deal. You think it's just the first game against,
Yeah, first game against, he scored well all last season. I'd be worried after 2-3 games in a row and then I start getting worried.
Okay, what about Harry Wilson? I think he similarly had about a point and was subbed off.
I think he had like 3.5 or something because I own him in one league. I'm not gonna lie, I'm worried about this one just because he's been in the league long enough and he wasn't getting involved as much as he did in preseason, it looked like to me. So I am worried about Harry Wilson because I think Starch scored a late goal in that game, so he got his points and the defenders got theirs, Trafford got his. He was one of the only Leeds players that didn't generate any fantasy points.
Yeah, and I think the concern too, Stash was still on a decent amount of the set pieces. Obviously, he scored the goal and the free kick. So that was where it's Enzo, Wilson, some of Wilson's points were coming from that. I think Wilson still took a few sets, but it's split. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that eats into Wilson a little bit. We knew that was going to come to some level, but yeah. So I agree. I think Harry Wilson I'm a little concerned about. Next one, Igor Thiago.
No worry.
Missed a penalty.
Let him warm up.
Let him warm up. He also had
let him cook.
He also had a header off the crossbar. So he definitely had his chances. I'm less worried about him.
He's making chances. If he had 0 chances, no shots on goal, he missed a penalty, but he hit the post. It wasn't like he hit wide. He's going to create chances. He's going to get you goals.
Yeah. Morgan Gibbs White. I think he was pretty low too. Just a few points.
Not worried.
Not worried.
Why would you be worried? You know that this is what he does. It's not every single game, but he'll have that one off where he'll score you nothing.
Yeah. I think that's interesting when you look at him because his ghost points aren't that great for the type of, you think his ghost points would be higher, but where he really thrives is last year, what really got him up was goals and assists. And you're hoping that with a better team around him that he'll have more. Okay. The next two, Sergey told us to skip, but I don't want to. So we're going to do them anyways. I'll join them together. It's Holland and Semenyo. Do you have concerns around those 2 players? Worried?
Very concerned. Holland Kai's here. This guy's Hercules. He's now lost all his scoring power and he didn't really do much in that game. And Semenyo's carrying on from what he did last season at the end where he seemed to be throwing duds. So worried. I
think the concern with me is just the whole team, right? So it's a different dynamic, it's a different dimension to it. And so it just might take a little bit of time and it might, this might not be at that level. that they were last
It's
season.
2 games in a row, man.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, Holland is going to be Holland. I like, there's a guy, one of our leagues, a guy drafted João Pedro over Holland, which we were all like laughing at, haha. But I mean, João's looking pretty good, so he's
Looking pretty
getting a
good.
laugh right now. We'll see how it all runs out at the end of the season. It's hard to imagine.
37 more games.
Yeah, but it's just you kind of forget like Holland had such consistency with Pep as his coach. So yeah, I think there's like a room for alarm, but I think in the same way that you were talking about like Angelo Lafie or something, where it's more like it's one game, you're not going to like totally panic,
No.
But this one, I'm a little more concerned. Elliot Anderson.
I'm not. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, but I think if you drafted him, what, the second or third round?
I think he got dropped the 3rd round on main league.
Yeah, I think the concern with him is that he was playing in a more advanced role and he still wasn't getting the points. He had kind of Nico O'Reilly there. He had Mark Guehi playing center mid, like as a 6. So like, and he only still managed to generate 2.5 points in a game where they scored 2 goals. I don't know. It's just a little alarming, I think, if you have him in your squad.
He's just not going to generate points the way he did it for us. I don't see it, not in this Man City team.
Yeah, and I think the lack of stats and everything. It's like, not to be like, I hate to say I told you so, but I hate to say I told you so on that one.
And then when Cherki came on, it just showed what they needed. So
yeah, I mean, different
Cherki
roles.
should be starting next game.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time, right, with Cherki, but we'll see. Florian Wirtz, concern? No concern?
They're going through some changes, man. I'm not even sure about that attack right now. Like, I guess Isak was nervous because he seemed to be bobbling. I thought he was going to take the penalty, but Wirtz, did you notice him in the game?
If you told me that he didn't play, I wouldn't have argued with you.
Non-existent. That's what I'm saying. So I'm worrying that he's going to do the same thing he did last season, which he started off like I think you said it. New team, new manager. It's basically the same thing because he's got all these new players coming in. Can he adjust quicker?
Fully. Yeah, it's concerning. It's alarming. You don't feel great if you dropped him, especially where you got to take him. I think maybe that's the type of guy where maybe he should have fallen to the second round. Maybe people were a little too hot on what happened at the end of last season. But there's also, again, first game, we'll see. I mean, what about Damsgaard?
Yeah.
He was going in like the 4th, 5th round. He didn't start. He came on for the last few minutes after they're already up. And it's not like he did that much when he was there. But
worried.
I would be
very worried.
Very worried, especially with the way Sangari played. I'm not saying that they're like for each other by any means, but I just think that kind of changes the dynamic of that midfield.
The dynamic of the team.
Yeah, like maybe you're not playing with a 10, you're playing with two like box-to-box 8s. If you have Sangare and Jensen or Sangare, you know what I mean? Like it maybe just changes the way that they play. So alarmed.
If he doesn't start the next game, I'm dropping.
I mean, you're getting pretty close, right? I think people are going to be pretty wise to his value not being worth much. So yeah, I think that's a very alarming one there. What about Tielemans? 0 points. Big fat 0.
Wow. Again, I said I don't think he's going to generate too many points, but he didn't even do what I thought he was going to do, which was win balls and shift the ball. That midfield is not it right now.
Carlos Baleba on his way. I don't think it'll be that relevant for fantasy, but it might allow like a Tielemans to do a little better in the future. Like to be a little more like high up the field, you'd hope. But yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like part of the concern with Tielemans too is like, that so much of his role at Villa was that he was like the guy. So he was taking set pieces. He was kind of like the fulcrum of everything that happened. And I just think on this United team, that's just not the case as much, Like they have a Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. They have guys that are going to be that are like that player. And Tielemans kind of is asked to do different things, which is, he's still a good player. It's just not, I just think fantasy is getting too problematic.
Just not fantasy asset. No.
Yeah. I mean,
like it used to be.
Yeah. Daniel Munez. Who knows? A Crystal Palace.
I'm not worried, but I should be because he got subbed off. I think he put up like 3-4 points. Wasn't as effective offensively as he's been in the past. Played against Everton. Is it Everton? No. Palace played against who?
Everton.
It was Everton. Wasn't good enough, perfectly honest. But I'm not worried. We'll see how he plays next game. I think it's going to depend all against the matchups.
I'm worried about him. I think that one of the things that's the biggest thing with attacking defenders is that a new coach can just absolutely change the dynamic of like how you get up the field and when you're expected to go and all of that. And I think that there's just this new look Crystal Palace team is he just seemed like he had less license to kind of roam free like he did previously. So I'm a little alarmed, to be honest, if I was holding Munez.
Okay. I think I'm a little bit biased because I haven't won my teams.
I know. Victor Gyökeres did not start. I was going in the third, like EP was like 3.4. So, I mean,
Where did
another
I
one
pick up Havertz?
in the way after Gyökeres was gone, like fourth,
Way
fifth.
after. I think you asked me, it was like, I'm a big fan of Havertz, and I answered, no, he's just going to start over Gyökeres because Arteta likes it more.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of clear because he started in the Champions League final when they were both healthy. Like the only reason he didn't start more against last year is because he was injured. And like, you know, it's the fact that Kai Havertz had a really good game and the fact that he scored a goal doesn't help Gyökeres' cause. I think it's going to be a little bit like horses for courses there. Like, you know, there will be certain games where Gyökeres starts, but I think when a push comes to shove, I think Havertz is probably the starter.
Yep.
Yeah. Patrick
He's my forward one in the 9th round.
Hey, nice. Yeah, I love to see that. That could be huge. Next one, Patrick Dorgu. We talked about him. What are you thinking there? We talked about the fact that he wasn't playing.
He just didn't. It just didn't work, did it? In that Man United game. I think there's a lot of things that went wrong in that game for Man United. But Dorgu on that left hand side, night and day when he came off, and he came off at the 45th at halftime. So that just shows you how much had to get changed, and it just wasn't working out for him. Do I think he's going to get benched next game? I don't think so. I think he'll still get another opportunity. I think I can see Carrick giving another opportunity and Rashford maybe coming off the bench again and then seeing how it works and then maybe him losing his spot if he has a shit game again next week. So I
think even if he does play, I mean, how confident are you in starting him? You know, with the just how poor he was.
Yeah.
It's concerning for sure.
You're hoping for clean sheet points.
I mean, but that's a point. Oh, no, I guess he's a defender. You're totally right. Yeah. Concerning. Okay, what about Declan Rice in a team setup where they scored 3 goals? A lot of Arsenal players scored well. Declan Rice had sub 5 points. Do you think that's just how it's going to be? Do you think last year was a bit of an anomaly?
No, because he scored well. Didn't he score well the year before that? I think this was just a game where he didn't need to attack as much. I think Odegaard was firing off all cylinders. That guy was throwing in balls left, right, and center. I think he still took set pieces, so he was fine there. He did have a couple shots on goal. I just think it was Tizolis was lining up. Odegaard was having a field day. So, and then, Kai Havertz's movement, I don't think he had to do much. And they kept the ball a lot. It wasn't like he was having to win the ball back. This was a game where they had majority of the possession. So I'm not worried about Declan Rice. He'll get his points. I
guess my worry is that even with see the sets, you're right there. But I don't know. I just feel like Odegaard playing well makes me feel like Declan Rice isn't going to have to do as much in the attacking sense. Because in the past, it was like last year, it was like there was so little coming from that like 10 position, like the most advanced 8, whatever you want to call it, that like Declan Rice kind of had to like force them out a little bit more. And I feel like this year, if Odegaard's firing on all cylinders and Declan Rice might feel like a little less pressure to drive like he did last year, that was where he did generate these amount of points. So I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, again, 1 week, so some of these we'll come to find out are totally fine, and some of them aren't. And that's it, boys. That's it. We're gonna just talk. We have a parlay we're gonna do.
You haven't put your parlay in. You've been sending messages since I woke up this morning to do parlays, and you didn't even put yours in. We all put ours in. I'll go through the parlays while
mine will be on there by the time that you're done going through them. Yeah. I know
Sergey. Okay. Sergey's going for Brentford win. Tico is going for the Man City win. Enzo's going for a Chelsea win. And then Mr. Keith Dempsey is doing Everton.
Okay, want me to tell you the odds of each of these games?
Yeah, let's see the odds.
Okay, Manchester City over Crystal Palace, minus 178. Okay, we like that. Everton plus 252. Chelsea over Brighton plus 101.
Yeah,
what's the last one?
Brentford.
Who are they playing? Brentford over Leeds plus 173. That gives us plus 3,120.
Wow, we're rich, baby.
We're gonna be rich. This is the one. This is the one that changes our lives.
This is the one where we don't have to put no more money into the betting jar. We just use that for the rest of the season.
Love that. All right, well, I think that's it. How you feeling? You feel good about this?
I feel good. It's going to be quick and easy. Put it out there. Waivers is the biggest part. And good luck to everyone in the first week. I hope you won. I've already won 1 week. It looks like I'm about to lose my other one. So 1-1.
I might, knock on wood, I might win all 3, given how the Chelsea game's going.
We don't care about your third one. Just tell us about the 2. Okay.
It's looking like wins. Okay. So this has been a new episode of Draft Offsides. I don't even know what number anymore. Follow us at Draft Offsides. Leave comments. We will respond. If you have questions, if you have waiver questions, leave them in the YouTube comments and we will get back to you with what we think. And it's very likely that we'll all get back to you with different answers because we all have very different opinions. So So yeah.
Yeah. And some of us throw each other on the bus, and it's very entertaining.
What did that guy say, Enzo? He said that you are your smirk was very annoying. He hated your smirk.
He said I was
last
smirking
episode.
too much. I'm not gonna lie to you. This whole episode, I was trying not to like go on and off. I was just trying to smile the whole time.
Oh, so it's the constant smirk.
Keep it
So
consistent.
you're doubling down. You're doubling down
Yeah.
on smirk. I like it.
Yeah, just trying to be consistent.
Love it.
Be consistent, you know.
All right, brother. Well, let's
All right.
stay in touch. All right, bye.
All right, we'll do, man. Talk to you later.
Yep.